Welcome again, another video. I'm gonna be talking about what happens when the narcissist runs out of supply, when they're out of stock. What happens when the narcissist runs out of stock, right? From supply, there ain't nothing else, nothing on the shelf, right? Ain't nothing on the shelf for them to grab. What happens? Well, for the most part, let's go through when you were with them, right? They can form themselves to be the perfect image of what they think you want to see, right? And they will act a part and play out the role for you to, to like. They'll put on a persona that is, so alluring and almost it's a seductive in a sense, to where they're putting you in this trance because everything seems so blissful because they're trying to almost perfect your ideal person, your ideal um, type of partner in a relationship. Well, here's where you know the power, or for them the magic of it all happens because during this stage, they say first impressions are lasting impressions. And there's a reason why the first impression sticks so hard to you and lasts so long. Because when you meet them, they're giving you this wonderful person, this person that, is so into you, this person that compliments you continuously, this person that sees no flaws in you, right? And, you know, creating a false rapport with them giving you unconditional acceptance, like you can't do any wrong in front of them. This in return causes you to open up way more than you should, because now you're in an emotional trance. You're not even thinking right now. You're in an emotional trance and you're going off of the feeling and the when you guys are hanging out, the fun you're having, everything like that. Because in a lot of ways, in the beginning, the narcissist is letting a lot of stuff slide that they would usually be very petty about. And say that again, they let a lot of things slide that later down the line you'll find that they'll be very petty about. And most of you have experienced this when you're with them. Um, you got with them, everything was perfect in the beginning, and then later, now they have all of these complaints about you. You can't do anything right. All of this is wrong. That's wrong. Well, in the beginning, that wasn't the way. They loved everything about you. They overlooked everything that they may have saw as, a deficiency or whatnot, but they overlooked it. It was perfect. It was still okay to them, right? And this is part of the grooming and the guaranteeing of securing a source. There's nothing more powerful than when a person gives you that unconditional acceptance to where you can do no wrong in front of them, because it automatically creates that false rapport where you want to accept them, you want to allow them in, and you want to give them the same um, you know um, the same treatment as they're giving you. And so at a certain point when this wears off, you'll find the exact opposite. You'll find that the narcissist is petty within everything, everything. I mean, they're complaining about this and that. You do something, anything, mildly off, and they're complaining about it. Now everything you do is wrong. Um, this is part of that cycle. Now, when you begin to wear off in the way that you treat them and you respond to them, because that's a given. you're not going to treat them the same way, because when the pettiness comes in and the insults begin and start, you're going to start reacting and responding a different way yourself. You're not going to be giving them the same quality and quantity of energy, attention, admiration, you know. Um, you're not going to be giving them that. It's not going to come with the same amount of potency. So what happens is the effects have worn off. You're not the same type of drug that stimulated them in the beginning for them to do all of this stuff for, right? It's wearing off, it's dying off. So now they get mad quicker, they get angry, they get frustrated, they go do mood swings and stuff with you a lot more frequent. Then comes the devaluation, then the discard finally. Now the narcissist is alone. And if you happen to get away from them, this is where the situations can vary, because if they don't have anything, they will hold on to you, still mad, still irritated and agitated that you're not giving them the same amount of potency of fuel, attention that you used to. Because now, again, a lot of the stuff you may have caught on, you may have caught them in lies, you may have caught them cheating, whatever it may be. And now you view them differently. Your perspective of them is different. So no, now they're not going to get the whole 100%. Now they've dwindled down. They're only getting 60%. Well, you know, they want the whole 100, but they can't get it. But they don't have any other source. So they'll string you along. They'll keep and try to get whatever they can out of you. And it's important for you to understand at this point, they have no use for you, really. They don't even want you, because they know you've discovered them partially. You're only holding on in most cases because you don't want all your efforts to go in vain. You don't want to give up on something that you put a lot of work into too. So you're holding on out of faith, hope, a belief that you have internalized within yourself to tell you to stick in there. Because maybe it will get better, maybe it will turn around, but it never does. Then eventually you may leave, or the narcissist leaves you, or whatever. Typically, if they don't have another source, they'll try to strangle you alone. But if you do leave them and they're cut abruptly off, and the narcissist has nothing else in stock, this is when they're at their worst. Deep depression. And they usually, this state of where you catch the narcissist is probably the closest to catching them in their true form, in their true selves, is when they have no other sources around. Now they'll get it from, maybe objects or certain things like that going on social media, but it's not the same as having the physical presence of a source. The fuel, the potency isn't the same, right? It's still fuel. It's still, giving them attention, but there's different levels of potency, and that's not the best type of dope for them. So they prefer, the actual physical presence of having someone intertwined with them, preferably in a relationship or in something close and interpersonal. They prefer that because that renders the most highest amount of potent fuel, high for them. So in between this stage, the narcissist is usually typically depressed, can become very antisocial. They don't want to bother with anyone. Um, Mood swings rapidly, going in and out, irritable. And at this stage, the narcissist usually returns back to the very essence of what they are, and that's the cold-hearted, person that lacks conscience, lacks empathy. That's the person that they return back to. Now, if you think about this, if this is the normal operating self of where this individual is, without, sources of supply to regulate their emotions, to be to an incentive to be somewhat decent or compliant to the social norms, then you understand just how important having people as their sources is to them. It's like a junkie not able to get a hit. I mean, they go through all types of withdrawal symptoms. They can't function properly on some of these drugs if they don't have it. That is the narcissist. The narcissist is only behaving and acting in a certain way to receive the the drug, metaphorically speaking, from the human individual. And that the drug is your energy, your interaction, your attention, your praise, your emotions. This is what boils down to their purpose in life. This is what they plot and scheme on every day. This is what they basically live for. And so without it, they're non-existent too. So it's in a sense, when you have a narcissist without supply, you wouldn't want to be around them at all in that state. Not for 5 minutes even. You would not want to be around them. If you knew how they were, and if you were to witness and be in the presence of them in that state without any supply, without any type of outside source of supply to regulate their emotions, it would be a sight to see. So, in other words, narcissist is very dependent upon the external sources of supply to regulate their emotions, to keep them, their drive, to keep their to sustain them. And as a junkie, as an addict, someone who's addicted to something, they're not caring about you. They say drug abuse. Well, these individuals abuse people, and it's to fulfill their high, to fulfill their addiction, at least, to try to get high, to try to feel that feeling. So to sum this up, a narcissist that doesn't have supply, would be a sight to see. And, you wouldn't want to be in their presence for very long. Anyway, that's all I have to say for this video. Hit the like button. Share if you haven't shared the video. Definitely subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Definitely go and get my ebook course, Anti-Narcissist Awareness Training Academy. It's a course. It is audio, but it's a lot of information covering stuff from A to Z within the very things that you may want to know in a narcissist community: how to defend yourself, how to protect yourself. Definitely go if you haven't yet. You're definitely sleeping on the documentary I put out, which is Departure of Empathy, which did win an award. Very, very good information in there. If you haven't seen it, I'll leave a preview at the end of this video. You can click the link. You can get a preview if you haven't even seen the preview yet. Some of you may have, some of you may have not. but it'll be a preview where you can see the preview first. And I'll leave the links in the description box where you can get a copy. All you have to do is click the link. These are all digital, guys, so they're immediate access. They'll be sent to your email so that you can download it. So there's no waiting. There's no shipment or anything like that, physical product to be shipped. Anyway, and then there's those of you who inquire about consultations. I do consultations. I'll leave a link with my email, or you can visit asscgroup.com and inquire, sign up for a consultation if you want a one-on-one. I address your own individual personal need, and we go from there. Till next time, guys, have a good one.